Hello, welcome to this part 6 on Excel tutorial. So today we're going to show you how to use the VLOOKUP function. Here we have the first exercise where we want to return the price. And we have an extra table here with the items and the prices. So we want to grab the prices here by using VLOOKUP. So let's enter our formula here. VLOOKUP looks for a value in the leftmost column of a table and then returns a value in the same row from a column that you specify. By default, the table must be sorted in an ascending order. Okay, so let's see here. We want our lookup value to be the item, which is the book. So this is the value we want to look up and then match it with a value from another column. Here we have our table array. Where can we find our table that has both the item and the price? It is in this table, so we'll lock that as well because we're gonna copy paste the formula down. And now the column index number. Okay, so where is our return value? In which number, which column is our price? So as we can see here, the first column here is indexed. The first column in the table array here is column 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So the first column is number 1, the second column is number 2. And so on goes to 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So in which column here is our prices, the ones we want to return here? Well, it's number 2. And here we have a final argument, range lookup, and that means we want an exact match. We don't want an approximate match where VLOOKUP will try to search if it doesn't find the value. So go false and close the parentheses. And copy paste this down, and we get a price of 10, 1, 2, and 6, which is correct. Okay, that was like a first quick overview. Now we'll go to the next exercise. Okay, in this example we want to return the ID. I have made a drop-down list here. So we have book, pen, ruler, textbook, etc. So here we're gonna make our formula dynamic. We're gonna have a lookup value be the item, and our table array is this table, because this is where the item and the ID are. We don't need to lock it because we're not gonna copy paste this formula. Okay, what's the column index number here? Remember, it starts from number 1, number 2, number 3 at price, and then number 4 at ID. So our column index number is number 4, and then use an exact match. And we'll see that the ID is correct here. The book has ID 23. And then we can go alt down here to change item. Ruler has 3, correct. Textbook has 5, and that is correct. Great. Now let's move on to the final exercise here. Here we're going to return the ID. This is pretty much the same exercise as the last one, but there's something different here. We're gonna use the exact same steps as the last one. We're gonna look up value. We're gonna have the table array, which is here. Now, what is our column index number? You see that item here is to the rightmost part here. So we have to move back a column. Well, let's try -1. See if that works. Or maybe a 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, that does not work. Neither does -1. The reason is because this value here cannot match with the IDs, because this column here needs to be on the leftmost side. So we have to move this one over here and change this value to a column index to a 4. And I'll change this table range because we changed the table. Now it will work. This column needs to be to the left side of our return array here, of our IDs. So that's a limitation with VLOOKUP here. So what can you do really, so you don't have to manually move the columns all the time in order to prevent this? Well, there is another alternative, and that is using XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is a lot better, and I recommend using it instead, if you can, because it is available on the latest Excel versions, but some old versions it might not work. So they have similar arguments here, and our lookup value is our item, and then our lookup array. Now this is a different argument. In what column can we find our items? It's basically what lookup array is. It is this items. And then on return array, what do we want to return? We want to return the ID. But which column is our IDs? All our IDs, they are here. Okay, and now we have some extra arguments we can fill out, which are optional. We can have, if we don't find a message, we can type not found. Match mode, we want an exact match. And then if there's multiple values, we can have different search modes, basically. We're gonna use this one. You don't need to fill this out, it doesn't really matter, we can just remove this and it will be the same. Okay, so let's close the parentheses here. And we get an ID of 43, which is correct. Right, book, we can have textbook, we can have ruler. Okay, so this was a quick overview on how we can use VLOOKUP in Excel, and also a little bit of XLOOKUP. And in the next part, I will go through on how you can use pivot tables, which is a very powerful tool in Excel. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thanks.